Is Quant QNT USDT the next big thing to watch in this crypto market? Well, to be honest with you, I think a lot or most, if not all of these altcoins are going to be pumping this alt season. Because why? Because if we actually take a look into, I'm basing my reasoning based on last bull cycle, okay, back in 2021. If you can pull any altcoin back in 2021 that has been in the market since January 2021 or before then or earlier, you can see that basically most, if not all of these coins have pumped, okay, during that bull cycle. Now, if the coin have actually came in later in 2021, like during the dump, right, then that's a different story. But any coin that has been incepted since January 2021 or earlier, you can see a pump that has happened. If you don't see one, if you find a coin that has not that met those conditions and has not seen a pump during 2021, bring that to me. Let's talk about that. I would love to talk about it. Okay. Now, so Quant, I don't think it's going to be a different story here for this bull cycle, and I talked about Quant for a couple of times. Okay. And the time frame I am paying attention to here for Quant is the 3 month time frame. This coin has been around since July 2021. I think it might even have been earlier than that, but just based on this chart here. Okay. And I see a falling wedge pattern on the 3 month time frame, which is a huge time frame. I usually look at coins with established patterns on a monthly time frame, but this one has been, this one has been around for quite some time, and it has a falling wedge on the 3 month time frame. Now, I also want to clarify that on the 3 month time frame, right? How do you validate a pattern? I also want to answer one of my viewers' questions. How do I validate a pattern? I want to start from there because so how do you validate a pattern? How do you chart a pattern here? First of all, you have to validate a pattern with at least three touching candles on that time frame. Okay, so on this top trend line here, I think this is close enough, right? For three touching candles, it doesn't have to be exact, right? In my opinion. On this bottom trend line here, we have two touching candles. However, like I said, I don't have to be exact. I think we have some that are very close, and it gives me this general shape of a falling wedge pattern. It also has to have two swings at least from within the pattern here. So yeah, that's how you validate a falling wedge pattern. Let's take a look into so this pattern has actually broken out, right? Back in the last 3 month candle close. Okay. Now, what I'm seeing here is a breakout with the price target of about almost $225 price target. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Very much depends on what happens with Bitcoin. Okay, that is still the driver of this crypto market. I did a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. I will link you guys at the end of this video. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin, okay, because that could really wreck my trades. Now let's take a look into the daily time frame because I think that's where one of my viewers' questions came from. Because I talked about this falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame, and let's see here. It did not. So this did not end up being a breakout here, okay? Which was back in August 31st, okay? So the breakout here actually happened here because this was the actual breakout point now, okay, as you guys can see, right? And I think one of my viewers' questions came from if so yesterday, right, when this daily candle basically dipped back into this pattern, and is this pattern still valid? Well, how I answer that question is first of all, what is the highest time frame that this pattern is valid in. Okay, let's take a look into the 3-day time frame because it is also valid on this 3-day time frame, right? So this is the highest time frame I see that this pattern is valid in. Okay, so this is something to be paying attention to now because this 3-day time frame actually closes in about 6 hours. Okay, however, just based on my viewer's question from yesterday, okay, there was a daily candle dipping back into the pattern. Now, when you get a wick back into the pattern, that doesn't invalidate a pattern. Okay, that's just the way I see it. Okay, and that did not invalidate the pattern. However, if you get a candle close back within the pattern on the highest time frame that this pattern is validated in, then that would invalidate that pattern. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so it's not until we get a 3-day candle close back within this pattern that this pattern will be invalidated, and I'm looking for a solid candle close. Okay, so let's take a look into let's take a look. So this pattern is still valid. Okay, daily time frame, we're still above the pattern. The time frame to be watching out for is the 3-day time frame. Okay, now I just want to mention that I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinion on this market is bullish. And of course, like the rest of this video, these are just my opinions and not financial advice. And these are just the way I see the charts. Okay. So price target for this breakout here after a very long clarification will be about $128 for Quant. Let's see if Quant can get there before reaching that bigger price target. Okay, and if I hadn't mentioned already, price targets are estimates only. There could be more or less. And this basically wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to have any if you guys have any other requests for me to look at in terms of any other altcoins or Quant itself. Make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.